Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? I really honestly can't tell if this mic is working or if I'm just really loud. So I'm going to attempt not to speed through this, but I have an hour and there's a lot of information. Most of this you probably got a little bit of an intro to in the last panel. But this is Convention Etiquette. We are calling it Attack of the Etiquette because we are in our 5th year, and every year it's just slowly become the next Star Wars movie name. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about us. I'm Amanda. Most people know me by Koi. I've been attending AMA for actually, 13 years now, so this is slightly wrong. I've been to various cons on the East Coast and SakuraCon on the West Coast. You can find my Facebook. It's Coilicious Cosplay. I've got business cards afterwards. You can always shoot me a line if you ever think of anything that you think needs to be added or changed. This is my cousin Becca. Everybody calls her Dim. We've been going to cons since the same time. Her Facebook is Devil Dim Cosplay, and that is her email. And if she doesn't have cards, we can always write it on the back of mine. So. Yeah. This is, like I said, our 5th year doing this panel, and this panel actually came around at a 3 a.m. powwow around a dinner table going on about how people don't really know convention etiquette anymore, and times have changed since when we first started going to conventions. So that's kind of how it started, and I mean, we've been going for 5 years, and it's my favorite panel to give out of all the panels I give. I just want to go over a little bit of housekeeping first. As I mentioned, I have an hour and it is a lot of information. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. But if you have a story to tell, we'll try to get to it at the end. I don't really want to rush through. Remember that we're not calling anyone out. We've been doing this, except 13 years. We have done pretty much all of this in here in our what do you call it, heyday, I guess, our many moons ago. So we're not calling anyone out. It just happens. As I mentioned, if we have time at the end, we'll go around and talk about some con stories. And I have business cards. We have candy somewhere.
Candy in that chair.
Oh. Yes, please feel free at any time if you feel like you want to get up and get some candy. I don't care. Go ahead. And then at the end, I will use those little raffle tickets. If you haven't gotten a raffle ticket by the end, just let me know, and I'll give you one. And then we'll raffle off some Wawa gift cards because it's 5 years and I'm celebrating. So some of the topics we're going to cover today are panel etiquette, which is new. If you've been to this panel before, the panel etiquette is a new topic that we're covering. Before and during the con, the hotel, the convention center, while in costume, some social tidbits, cosplay photography. The name of this one has changed many times, but it's How Not to Be a Terrible Person 101. And some cosplay safety. So first off, since I'm in the middle of the panel, I would like to start off with panel etiquette. Yes, that is me last year dressed up with my amazing blonde hair. First thing is respect the panelists. I mean, this also goes for outside of the panelists. Just respect everybody. If we have rules, follow them. There may be a time limit. Like I have a time limit now, and so we kind of focus on trying to get all the information we can in that time limit. But if somebody just keeps bringing up random stories, it kind of detracts from our panel, and then we have to speed through, and it just kind of gets all muddled together. If you don't like something, please feel free to come up after the panel and discuss it with a panelist. This is how we get feedback. We don't know how we're doing unless you guys tell us. I mean, applause works, but it's not a sort of constructive. I'm all for applause, don't get me wrong. But yeah, if you have something wrong with the panel, or you think there's something that needs to be changed, you didn't agree with the wording, please feel free to come up afterwards, talk to the panelists. They are usually pretty cool about it. If you like a panel, let the panelists know. We love hearing it. Even better, you can go to convention feedback on Sunday and let the head of the cons know, and then you might become like a featured panelist, which I'm hoping for one day. So, some conventions use like an online app or a feedback system. And I have heard stories of people just getting like 0 stars and nobody went to that panel. They just did it because they didn't like the person, or they did it and didn't say why, didn't bring it up to the panelists. That does not help whatsoever, that panelist. So now they've got 0 stars and they're going, what did I do wrong? Now I don't know. How do I improve this to make it, better for the future? Yes. Yeah, like I said.
Yeah, if you have like a legit problem or you like something and a suggestion, like feel free to just let the panelists know. That's the only way it really gets through. Going online, like a lot of people don't even check those apps. They don't even know they exist. So, come up and say, hey, I like this. It's really cool. Or, hey, next time, why don't you include this? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we won't be upset. We want to know. We want to be able to improve this, especially for a panel that's been going on for so many years. We want to improve. So before and during the con, this kind of goes back to the Febreze Queen he mentioned earlier. Take a bath or shower daily, and this really isn't a joke. Like, I wish I was joking about this, but this really isn't a joke. Axe, perfume, body sprays, they are not substitutes for a bath.
Yeah, usually, like, if you mix Axe or perfume with body odor over the weekend, you're just kind of making, like, a congealed mess of smells. Like, you might think it smells great, but it probably doesn't. And I know not everybody can control that, but if you do take a shower, that at least helps some. And then you'll feel better, you'll be more awake for the con. Just kind of keep that in mind.
Yes.
I've heard of Axe referred to as girl repellent.
For some people, that is true. He also mentioned earlier, people may be allergic to these things, and you don't know. That might set them off, and, then you are in a little bit of a situation because now they've gone into some sort of anaphylactic shock, and there's a situation. Clean up after yourselves. Your mother is not here, and if she is, she wants a break. This is her vacation, too, in a way. It's very easy. If you see trash, throw it in the trash can. Don't put it beside the trash can. Yesterday, I saw a woman put her cart literally next to the cart corral in the food line. I was like, just walk around. It's right there. You can do it. And there's no time. You don't need to be lazy about that. Just clean up. This includes the hotel room and the convention center. And that includes the bathrooms. If you see like a bathroom is really gross and dirty, like there's paper towels everywhere, let the hotel or convention staff know, and they'll get somebody in there to clean up. They might not know because they haven't gotten to that cycle yet. This is very important. Stay hydrated and get in at least 2 meals a day. Notice I didn't say 3 meals or 4, just 2. Even if that's breakfast and your dinner. You need some food. You may not realize it. I was not hungry this morning, yet I ate a Nutri-Grain bar. And there's water stations everywhere. Please utilize them. Yes?
Nothing like a backpack full of snacks.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Hockey, ramen, and like candy, all the and other junk food does not count.
Yeah, like actual food. Like food. Meat, tofu, whatever, food. Let your roommates sleep. This might seem a little odd, but you don't know what time they got in. They might be getting up for a panel that you didn't know about. Just do each other the courtesy of being quiet. I know I get cranky when I haven't slept.
Yeah,
so
they might have been out all night partying. That's not your responsibility, but try not to maybe move every piece of your luggage around looking for one thing. Like, get a flashlight, try to creep, use your phone. Now, if it's like 12 in the afternoon, that's one thing, but, if you're getting up at 5 in the morning to do your makeup, kind of keep that in mind. Not everybody else wants to do their makeup at 5 in the morning.
So we move on to the hotel. Clean up after yourselves. Again, this is very simple. If you have made a mess of body paint of some sort, I used to sort of pick on the Homestuck people because they wear a lot of body paint, but I haven't seen much Homestuck, so now I can pick on Steven Universe cosplayers because they get in the body paint a lot. Not that I'm trying to pick on them, but it's the one that comes to mind that wears a lot of body paint. So, if you have a lot of body paint, be careful of where you're sitting. When you're cleaning it off, make sure you actually clean it and don't leave a mess. Do your research on what it takes to get body paint out of tubs, etc. I mean, it might seem a little suspicious on your browser search, like, how do I bleach a tub? Like, I didn't commit a murder, I promise. Only sleep in your hotel room. Again, this seems like a common sense thing, but people will go out and sleep in the hallways of the convention centers, the hotel, anywhere they can find a spot. I am guilty of falling asleep on the table over there in the corner, that lounge area. I didn't realize it, so partially, I guess it's not my fault. This is a really big one. Be sure you're able to pay for your room, your food and drinks, your gas, your parking. You need to put your responsibilities before your wants. There were many, many years I did not buy anything in the dealer's room because I did not have the money. I knew I had to buy gas. I knew I had to buy my badge. I knew I had to do certain things. So that just meant I did not have any time to buy goodies.
Yeah, you don't want to jeopardize your friendships by buying that $200 figurine, and then Sunday comes and they're asking for the money. You can't pay for the hotel room. They might not have had the money. They might have been depending on getting everybody to pull that together. So just kind of look out for that.
We know friends who have had this happen before. Thankfully, we don't usually stay at hotel rooms. We usually are conveniently located close enough that I can just stay at either my house or somebody's house. But, I mean, it's happened. We've known people that it has happened to. I've had people come up, hey, so I don't have any more money. Do you have like $5 I can go get some food? And I'm like, I can't let you starve, so I guess.
Yeah, but nobody wants to spend the con at the hospital because they passed out because they didn't eat because they couldn't afford it. Just make sure you budget yourself and that you can pay for everything before the con.
Keep the noise down. You're not the only ones in the hotel. The convention probably has not booked the entire hotel. There's probably at least one or two families that are kind of like, where are we? What's going on? And you don't know what the person next door to you, maybe they got in late.
That doesn't mean don't have fun. That just means, like, don't have a karate match in the bedroom and throw all your stuff around and scream and run up and down the hall. I think that's the biggest thing is people, they like to shriek as they run up and down the hall. And so that kind of, it goes by every door. You just hear, down the hallway. That's kind of bad.
Put yourself in their position. Do you want your neighbors screaming at the top of their lungs and just going off, running up and down the halls because when you're trying to sleep? Because I know I don't. I've yelled at her for that. I shouldn't have to say this, but use your common sense. Don't leave body paint anywhere. Again, do your research. Don't pull fire alarms. I shouldn't have to say this, but it happens.
There's nothing fun about standing outside for an hour in the heat.
Respect the hotel's property. Elevators, furniture, signs in the hotel room, room numbers. Don't. Yeah. Don't, along those lines, don't mess with things that aren't yours. There are some groups, like scout groups, occasionally will stay in hotels and leave tape on the door so that they know, the troop leaders know if somebody left the room. Don't be that person that goes around and takes the tape off or cuts the tape, because then you're getting them in trouble and they didn't do anything, and the troop leader's like, well, the tape's gone, and you're like, I didn't do anything. That is, I mean, they can get in serious trouble for that if they're disobeying, their troop leaders or whatever.
Don't move the hotel furniture or mess with the signs or write on anything. Thing is, once you do it enough times, they're going to say, all right, it's not worth having this convention here. We keep having to fix all this stuff and keep having to go through this. You might end up getting kicked out, and then where do we go? You're either hours and hours away, or there's just no place to fit the con anymore. Just keep that in mind.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, back to the fire alarm thing. Yeah, that's a high school rule.
Yeah.
I mean, that should be a high school rule.
It's illegal. Don't do it.
You're wasting their time. Fire people's time, right?
Yeah, they will get you for it. Hotels will kick you out. They don't care if you paid for the con or not. They really don't care. Yes.
I think some fire alarms are now equipped with die packs.
Ooh,
So like
those are fancy. I've never heard of that.
If you pull the fire alarm because of a fire, you're a hero. Otherwise, like, smear them.
That's amazing. I've never heard of that. Oh, now I want to see. No, don't go pull fire alarms. I don't want to see that. I'm going to watch a YouTube video on it. Just,
Everywhere.
it should be. Yeah, I like it. Oh, that's amazing. So this is a bathtub after somebody cleaned off their Homestuck body paint. Oh, it's very hard. Sorry, I haven't been even actually looking up here. The tub is completely covered in body paint. You can see here. Good news is they really just took this picture to show you this is what happens when you clean off body paint, and then they cleaned the tub. So it did get cleaned. This one, it's a little hard to see, but there's here blue. There's blue all here. This was a Mudkip cosplayer who had painted themselves blue and then sat in this chair, and now the chair is just covered in blue. And it's not going to be hard to find that person, considering now they have chunks of paint missing off their back, and it's on the chair. You probably heard in the con world about Katsucon this year and the damages that came from that, because that seemed to make the rounds everywhere online. These were bathroom stalls. You can see Katsucon 2016 here, Katsucon here, spelled wrong. Yeah, it was a little bit of a mess. This is water that had pooled out of a hotel room. A hole in a door that somebody had punched through and then thought it would be funny to write one punch min, not man, was here. This was like a week later as MagFest in the same hotel. These are actually pictures my brother took of just trash in the bathrooms. This is what I'm saying when I say if you see trash like this in the bathroom, let the convention staff, or not convention staff, but like conventions, yeah, so let somebody know. Somebody who looks official, let them know so that they can get somebody on it. Yes?
Also let them know if the trash can is getting full.
Yes.
That might result in those.
Yeah, exactly. If you see a problem with it, they might not know. So don't let it get to this point. They will actually start appreciating that. They will, if you let, hotel staff or like the actual convention center staff know, they might bring it up to, the convention heads and be like, hey, your staff, your convention goers were really nice and they were letting us know about, these problems that we didn't know about. So, good relationships.
Plus, who wants to go to the bathroom like that?
Yeah, that's gross. So the convention center. If you haven't been to conventions before, be glad you have not yet experienced the overuse of memes. By overuse of memes, I mean somebody screaming Red Robin, and then the chorus of yum, and then 2 seconds later, Red Robin, yum, and then it gets to the point where somebody goes, stop it.
I've seen, people, some guy, he thought it was his moment. We've gone through 8. We've done the back scratcher. I lost the game. Red Robin. I don't remember what he screamed out. He was so excited, and it was this big moment, and he yelled, from the balcony at NecoCon, and somebody was like, shut the up! And he just looked like, he was so excited. 8 times in a row is just a little too much. Let's do 1 or 2, wait 30 minutes, and come back. Because by then, it stops being fun. It's kind of fun when, we all scream, yeah, we're having a great time. And then 20 minutes later, we're kind of exhausted of it. Kind of sneak them in there here or there.
Yes.
For John Cena a lot.
Oh, yeah, I feel like that's the new one. So, yeah, yeah, it's okay to do it. Just kind of space it out because somebody will just get sick and tired and just kind of snap on you.
You want it to be fun, not tiresome.
Yes. Just because you paid for the convention doesn't mean you're entitled to anything. On the back of the badge, unless it's changed, it's right here, the very last line. AMA reserves the right to refuse entrance to anyone for any reason. Just, pay attention to the rules that are going on. And don't be like, well, I paid for the con. Well, congratulations, now you're kicked out of the con and you just lost that money. So, just try to pay attention to the rules.
He talked a little bit earlier about somebody being on the roof. That did happen. I remember it clearly when it happened. If they tell you not to go somewhere, if a room's closed for something, they might be setting something up, or an incident might have happened a couple years ago. Somebody had a chemical reaction with one of their little things they were doing in a panel. There might be a reason for that, so just kind of respect when they tell you not to do this, or stop swinging your sword around, please. There's always a reason for something, and if you feel like there's not a reason, just talk to the staff. It's better than getting yourself kicked out. You can go find Ed, the head of the con, and be like, I had this problem, and he'll take care of it if it is a problem, especially if you feel like you're being treated unfairly. Don't start a riot out in the middle of the floor and go off and flip a table. kind of escalate that if you need to. Just be that soccer mom, just go right over their head. I want to see a manager. Just keep going up.
The convention center, just like the hotel, has rules. Most of these are common sense rules. Don't post signs, don't move furniture, don't run in the hallways. That's for your safety as well as others. You might trip and hit a chair or hit someone's prop, and now you got to go to the hospital, and now you're missing the fun of the con. As we mentioned earlier, there is no need to be screaming down the hallways, especially right outside doors where events are happening. There are so many times where we have had to be like, okay, somebody needs to close the panel doors because somebody's just running up and down the hall screaming, and then it's no fun because people don't realize all the fun that we're having in here. Yeah, inside, outside voices. You want to go outside, scream outside. Be respectful of other events going on. This includes in the hotel. There are many times where the convention will have another convention going on. I have seen military balls go on at the same time. You are ambassadors of cosplay and anime conventions. Just always keep that in mind. You want to put your best foot forward. You want people to be interested in your hobbies. You don't want them to think that conventions are bad influences. There might be a parent that's debating on whether or not to bring their kids to a convention, and they might see you acting buck wild, and they're like, nope, and you have ruined it for that kid. You want to, extend that olive branch. And if somebody has questions, if somebody, what is this? It's a lot of times when you go out, you'll go to Wawa or something. Oh man, I love your costume. What is it? What's going on? Let them know. They genuinely want to know sometimes. And then sometimes you'll also get the fun people when they find out that it's an anime con, then they're really upset because they're working the whole weekend, and you just get to see them stomp around. They're like, no, I missed it. But, just keep that in the back of your mind, is that you're ambassadors for, this anime convention. We mentioned this earlier, respect off-limits areas. It's very simple. Just do it. Then one of our favorites is don't hog the hallways. Especially here, it's a very narrow space. But, like everything, we have a story to go with that. This is what I like to call, if we can fit, you can fit. The story of Raging Raven. It's hard to see, but this is the costume here, is Raging Raven. This is the screenshot of it. This is her. This is me. This is a, what is that, 15-foot wingspan here. This is at NecoCon. If you haven't been there, they have very wide halls, but it could easily be in halls like this where it's very narrow. So she made it so that these wings actually fold in. So here's me holding the wings in the front. And we've got our own little bubble here. I'm watching out in front of her. We actually had a couple people. There's someone here. I think there was someone on the other side, kind of keeping this bubble so that we're not getting in anybody else's way or anything like that. Oh, here we go. A not so flattering picture of me walking, and here's our people, our bodyguards, I guess, in a way. But we have contained this to ourselves. We're not taking up the entire hallway because we could easily walk down that hallway with those wings open and just block it off from everyone. Yes, come in here. Hello, welcome. I love this quote here because it is so absolutely fitting. I put on the costume and said, it's not very comfortable, but it looks amazing, so it's all good. It's Chris Hemsworth. Everyone should know that name. But that is the most fitting quote for anything. Not to try to deviate, I'm going to say it really quickly. But if you think your costume is really awful, you're like, oh man, I spent all this time on this costume, and I don't know if I want to wear it. You wear that costume, and you get that one picture. Once you get that one picture, that's it. You're validated. Somebody loved that costume. Even if they didn't get your picture, you know what? You are flaunting it, and that's all that matters. You wearing it for you. You're not wearing it for anyone else. Because I have been there. So I like to talk about while in costume. What we just talked about was knowing your bubble, which includes sealing your body paint. If you have to find a handler, please do.
Yeah, if you can't navigate in a really big costume, maybe you can't see that well, or you just have really big wings or a big prop, get a handler. I usually make her be my handler with all my crazy costumes, 9 feet spears, can't see anything out, my mask. Have somebody with you, even just for a little while, help you if you got to move around, because you're probably going to end up crashing into the wall or taking somebody else out.
Just remember, even big, sports mascots have a handler. So don't be afraid to ask for help because, I don't know, big sports people, but yeah, even those mascots have to have a handler so they can see what is going on. Accidents do happen, but be aware of other people's costumes. There may be fragile parts that you didn't realize. I don't want to say don't destroy people's costumes, but that's kind of along what this is. Don't expect people to move out of the way for you, but don't try to purposely be in the way either. Try to make as much room as possible for others to get by. As you saw, we had kind of condensed ourselves, and then we tried to stay to one end of the hallway. It's just...
That doesn't mean, don't hang out and have fun. That just means, if there's 12 of you, don't stretch all the way across the hallway in a giant circle. Kind of just, make sure there's at least enough, 5 or 6 feet for people to get by. That way they're not bumping into you. And I've had somebody hit my wings. They were really, really hard and stiff. And I really don't know how he didn't bruise his arm very badly. He almost broke them right off my back. And they were really, really tough. Almost snapped right off me. He just kept going like nothing happened. But just kind of, look out. You don't want to break anything or hurt yourself by bumping into somebody. Just make sure you got enough space.
Yes.
I'm going to try to convince some of my hack arcade friends to dress up as steampunk henchmen, carry around a big toolbox, a drop cloth, quick dry paint, super glue, splints, and so on to emergency costume affairs.
There are a lot of people who will do that, and they'll have big backpacks. I wish I could remember the name of there's actually a group, it's an international group on Facebook where you can come in and you have a cool name. It's like Captain Repair or something like that. But there are lots of groups, and there's actually some conventions that will have cosplay repair rooms. So they will have a whole room dedicated to, you need duct tape, we got duct tape. It's amazing. I love it. I've yet to see it in person though, so if anybody wants to start doing that. Just because someone is in costume does not mean they're in character 100% of the time or even 1% of the time. I cosplay the most obnoxious, rude people, but I am far from that, I like to think, unless I haven't slept. And so it's hard to be in character all the time, and...
Yeah, I tend to like a lot of the mean jerk characters, but I just don't really feel like doing that at the con. So if you come up expect me to be all nasty, or if I'm dressed as somebody sweet, I'm probably not going to do it. You can take a picture, but I'm probably not going to act out a scene for you or something. So it's cool if people want to do that, but don't get you're not even doing it right, if they're not trying to be in character. Or maybe they're just tired. Maybe they love doing it and they just want to break for a little while.
Don't expect someone to understand that you're talking to them in character if you just randomly come up to them. They might not know what your character is. Just be aware that if they get this glazed, what look on their face, just kind of be like, oh, sorry, in character. Just be aware of that, because there are a lot of people who are non-stop in character, and then you're just like, are you okay? I can't tell if you're playing a character because I don't know who you are. So, my favorite, some social tidbits. It might be a little hard to read, but he says, it should be illegal to cosplay outside your body type. Fail. Yeah. Don't do this. Rude. I stepped up my graphics game. So, social tidbits. Cosplay is not a competition, no matter how much it wants to be nowadays. Back in the day, way back in our day, when we first started cosplay, these are back in the days where we got disposable cameras and went down to the pharmacy and got it developed there. 5 disposable cameras.
They $500.
They got dust on the stick. They still have that at the grocery store.
I'm amazed.
It's gotten better about that.
Really random. I'm totally going to take 2 seconds. Does anybody know what Betamax is? Okay. Betamax was the competition to VHS. Did you guys know that it didn't go out of production until 2002? And they kept making the cassettes up until March of this year? I had no clue. Yeah, it's on Wikipedia. But I checked the source. I'm a historian. I checked the source. It's legit. I was like, what? This is amazing. I thought that went out. Sorry, I know it was really random. I found that out this week, and I was just blown away. It's not a competition. It doesn't matter.
In the competition, you're there to have fun. You're there to compete, but you're there to have fun. So even if you're competing, have fun with it. Because if you're not having fun, like, what's the point?
Cosplay is all about having fun, and somewhere along the lines in the past 13 years, that has gotten lost. It's become about how many Facebook likes can I get? How many trophies do I have sitting on my shelf? Unless you're a cosplay judge, don't open your mouth about someone else's costume. Unless you're complimenting them, compliment them away, or if they're asking your opinion. And when I say asking your opinion, I mean like constructive criticism,
Yeah, like, oh, I've made that costume before, and when I did it, I made my gloves this way, or I made my wings this way. Not like, oh, you shouldn't have made that way. That's a terrible idea. You should have done it this way. It's kind of like you can suggest things without, like, suggesting them nastily. Just kind of, like, think about, like, if somebody said this to me, how would I feel? Like, would I take that the wrong way? Because I've had that happen. I've seen it happen to friends. Like, just kind of ease it in there if you do want to make a suggestion. Like, oh, yeah, my cousin made that, and the way she did it, she did this.
You should be having fun, not stressing over your costume. That goes back to what I was saying. You wear that costume and you work it. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. As long as, you're getting it, you made that, that's all you. Even if you bought it, you wear it. I shouldn't have to say this, but apparently it's been coming up a lot lately. It makes no difference what race, gender, or size a cosplayer is. It doesn't make them any better or worse of a cosplayer. Don't comment on it. Don't be like, oh, you make a great black Sailor Moon, or you look pretty good as a full-figured Aerith, because they just make a fantastic Sailor Moon and an Aerith. There's nothing else to it. That's the cosplay. It's not a specific, oh, this is what you are.
We're human beings. We are not cartoons or animation or video games. Like, there might be somebody who looks so like the character you can't believe it, but we're humans. We're here to have fun, so it doesn't matter. Wear whatever you want.
This is one of our favorites. Don't freak out the guests. Don't do it. You will become the con horror story that guests talk about at Guests Uncensored. It has happened. We have seen it.
I've been in there when one of the guests was telling a horror story that happened, and the girl who did it was in the audience, but she had no shame, and she was like, that was me and my friend, that was us, and you could see him, and he was like, awesome, it's good to see you again. Like, don't freak them out, because they will tell everybody they know, and then you will be that story at the next big con, and everybody will know about the creeper, who's rubbing their leg under the table with their leg, or, they don't want to read your erotic fan fiction.
Yeah, don't come to the... Let me tell you about Sasuke. Can you read this line from my fanfiction? They don't want to hear that. They're just like, security.
I mean, some of them might, but the majority of them probably don't.
Ask permission before touching anyone at all. They may have some sort of anxieties or other issues with people touching them. They shouldn't have to explain to you their reasons for not wanting you to touch them. No means no. It's very simple. Just don't do it.
If you ask for a hug or something and somebody says, no, I'd rather not, they probably have their own reasons for it. So just be like, okay, that's cool, cool costume, and just keep it moving.
Yeah, don't get offended by it, yes.
Cosplay is not consent. That is not a mean.
Yes. Thankfully, I actually have not seen it in a while. Have you been doing it?
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, today? Wow.
Just got here a few minutes ago. It happened today.
Yes.
Maybe about a year ago, I was in Natalia cosplay, and I had recently been in a car accident, so I had a back sprain.
Oh, no.
Like, I was already in constant pain, and I was terrified because there was this, 13-year-old Canada running around and glomping other people, and I was, clinging to
Yes.
my brother, please don't let them touch me.
Yes.
A group of bodyguards.
Yes, you had some. I will get to that in the next slide. Don't worry. I came prepared this time. Yes. If you have, I am so glad.
Go for it.
I'm so glad we've gotten to a point where you don't know what glomping is. Yes, round of applause. I know there are a few other people. Who don't know what glomping is, and that's because it's your first come. Don't worry. We will get to. You will see the horror. I'm trying not to speed along, but I'm going to have speed along. Don't be afraid to make friends. Some of our best friends in the back, over here, all my good friends I have met at conventions.
Yeah.
All of them. Don't be afraid to make friends. Okay, if they're a creeper, it's okay to kind of walk away, but if they seem cool, it's cool to make friends. The like I said, that's some of the lifelong friends we've made is through conventions and cosplay.
I see like some of them once or twice a year, but
that's all we need.
Yeah, they're the best friends you'll ever have. I mean, come on, they like all the same stuff you do. They're at cons. You're all, you can all be weird friends together.
They're big nerds. Yes. See, you can find love here. See, buddy sister. Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead apparently. Anyway, I think I moved it. That's why. Friends, not enemies. Leave your con drama at the door. Nobody wants to hear it. Seriously, you're coming here for fun. You don't let that con drama bother you. You leave it at the door, and you have fun for you. You see somebody you don't like, ignore them. Blinders.
And if they're harassing you, like, tell the staff. That's one thing. If they're actively harassing you, tell the staff. Don't get into a brawl outside or a screaming match in the middle of the lobby, and the hotel staff is like.
Yes.
Let staff know.
Find security. Let them know this person is harassing me. They will take care of it. I really hope that this is the correct thing. Okay, yeah. Make an effort to have a good time. I shouldn't have to say this, but please don't go on Facebook later and be like, that convention was horrible. Okay, well, what did you do? Nothing. I sat on the floor and none of the panels are really interesting. That's cool if none of the panels interest you, but try to make an effort,
Literally, like, I've seen people complain that they didn't have any fun at the con, and when they asked what they did, they sat outside in the grass in the heat, like 95-degree heat, all weekend. Didn't come inside, didn't do anything, didn't check anything out at all. So it's cool if, there's no panels that interest you. Go make some friends. Go in the video game room, watch some people dance or do whatever. Go have some ice cream outside, but don't just sit there and be sad the whole weekend.
I mean, and that's all we can really say on it. So you were asking what glomping is. This is glomping. That is a running start and then a pretty much tackle.
It's like you run and then you tackle them.
If somebody wants to, if you ask and they say it's okay, then it's okay. I will tell you, somebody has asked me, can I glomp you? I was like, all right. And I stood up and I was like, all right, let's go. And they got like practically from the door to here a running start. And I was prepared. Yes.
Several NFL teams need her.
Yeah. When
Imagine somebody like twice her height coming at you.
it's happened.
Like me, somebody like double my height coming at me full force. No way, I'm jumping out the way.
When I was at SakuraCon in Seattle, I was introduced to the amazing, idiotic thing called a glomp circle, which was basically many spin the bottles at once, but whoever it landed on, you glomp them. And I was like, this is a horror show. And they were like, you don't have this out on the East Coast? No, we have sense. No. Like, keep that away from me. Yes.
Yeah, but honestly, I cannot stress the importance of asking before you do
Yes.
things like that because I have back
Exactly.
I have back issues. I have a lot of friends that have a lot of health issues. You don't know what someone is suffering with or dealing with, and that is highly physical.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's extremely physical.
Not only might you hurt somebody, but somebody might take it the wrong way and might take a swing at you. So, they might not know. They might just think they're being attacked. Since, we got people now who don't know what glomping is. It's come full circle. You might get one. So just kind of.
Let's also try not to bring it back.
Yeah.
Let's let it die. Yeah, let's get off of that. We're going to cosplay photography, and we're going to speed through this. So, ask permission for pictures. No doesn't mean I hate you. It just means that, not at the moment. She had a picture taken eating a hot dog.
I was dressed as Genova from Final Fantasy VII, full body, blue paint, standing there, and I'm like this, eating this hot dogs I hadn't eaten all day. Somebody ran by and was like, click, and then like 20 minutes later, something pissed me off, and I was going off to her, and I was like, and somebody took another picture from over her shoulder when I was like, I can't edit that. Somebody's got that out there in the world. You don't have to sneak to take a picture. Just kind of ask. Even if somebody's having a conversation, you can kind of if they look like they're gonna be a while, you can kind of nicely say like, hey, excuse me, do you mind if I get your photo? I'm on the way out the door. If I did, I would destroy it.
And I mean, they might not even have all of their costume. They might just be like going to get the rest of it. So you don't know. Just if they say no, just be like, okay, thanks. Yeah, it's really nothing personal. Don't take it personally. Be aware of your surroundings when taking pictures. Don't take pictures in doorways or highly populated areas. It's okay to be like, sure, can we step over here?
Yeah,
that is perfectly fine.
I had a guy actually stop me from Shonen Jump magazine at Otakon one time. I was dressed up from Bleach, and he asked if he could take my picture, and I was like, yeah, cool. Like, I was so excited, but I was like, he was all ready to take it. I was like, well, do you mind if we step over here? And he looked so shocked, like, in all his time of taking pictures of people, because that's all he does is take pictures for the magazine. Nobody had ever thought, like, hey, let me get out the middle of the walkway. So just kind of, it doesn't matter if it's just me taking your picture or a big name photographer. Just say, like, yeah, can we step right over here? You know, if traffic's going this way, step that way so traffic's going that way, or kind of angle so the wall's behind you. But don't stand in the middle of the floor and have, you know, everybody's got their cameras out. Because, you know, once one person stops, you're probably going to get like 6 more people in that round. Like, oh, I got to get my camera right now. They'll never stop again. You know, just kind of step off to the side if you can.
Don't take over someone's photo shoot unless they ask for help. If you feel like it's not going well and they can't handle it, discreetly offer to assist them instead of just shoving your way in and taking over.
They might have a certain way they want to do things. Don't just say, all right, now let's do this pose. You can kind of be like, I've had to do that before. A girl, she was real nervous. She didn't know what she was doing. I was like, hey, well, you know, why don't we do this? This would be cool. And I would let her kind of like think like, yeah, let's do that, instead of me being like, I'll just handle it. Just, you know, go over there, I'll take care of it. Just kind of discreetly, like, offer suggestion. And if they don't want to take it, if they're the one who organized the shoot, I mean, the worst I can say is just let it be what it is.
Yeah.
I hate to have to leave early, but my shift has gone up.
That's fine.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
for coming.
thank you for coming.
Take a handful of candy.
Yes, please take candy.
Well, I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but I want a business card.
Oh, yes, please.
Thank you for coming.
So unless it's a private photo shoot, don't exclude anyone. That is just rude.
If it's private and you've set that up, a lot of times you might even be paying for that. It's okay to tell somebody, no thanks, you know, we're good, we're trying to do our own thing. But if you're hosting a public shoot, try not, you know, just because maybe you don't like that girl that much, or, you know, that guy gets on your last nerve. If they're acting like off the wall, you can kind of ask them to tone it down, but don't, just try not to exclude anybody. They might not have the best costume, but maybe they were really, really excited to see other fans and really, really wanted to get in that photo shoot. So try not to, you know, don't want to discourage them from participating.
Don't butt into photo shoots that you don't belong in. At least not until they're done wrapping up. Yeah. Usually it's a lot of Deadpool cosplayers, which is fine. Just, you know, kind of one picture or 2 pictures is cool, not the entire photo shoot.
If you're gonna, you know, you're gonna come in,
yes.
Don't jump in and just stay the entire time, because, you know, that might be cool, like, oh, Deadpool's so funny, like, haha. But then, you know, those people, they also want to get pictures with their own series or their own group together. And if you're kind of there just in the background of every picture, like, yeah, like, it's kind of rude and annoying, I guess.
A NecoCon a few years ago, and I think multiple years repeating, we had this one guy who would come in a green morph suit and a business suit on top of that.
Mm-mm.
And he would walk around the con just, you know,
Yep.
start this stuff, which is perfectly fine, but he would start getting people following him throughout the con. And
Yes.
that becomes a difficulty when he's walking in between
Yes.
photographers and
Yes.
people getting a picture. And you have to sit there and wait for this mile
Yes.
long random people.
I have seen him. Don't be that guy. Yes.
Yes, definitely don't be that guy. This is definitely a person who wears a shirt that says that guy.
Yeah.
There's also, like, kind of, if you're doing a photo shoot, don't plan it in the most populated area that's blocking the door. There's plenty of great places that still leaves room for people to get around you, because that will start to happen. You know, if you're blocking this only walkway, people are going to have to come through.
Okay, I'm going to speed through even faster. Sorry. Plan your photo shoots early and publicly. I don't know if anybody really uses cosplay.com anymore. That might be showing our age a little bit, but you can use the official Facebook page for that. A lot of times they'll have it on like a spreadsheet or something. Yes.
You know that this year there actually was a person who's on staff who did make an AMA photo shoots group that you can go in there.
Yeah.
And you can just advertise
Yeah,
your shoot
if you
there,
look-
and they have a list.
If you're not sure, ask around. Your friends might have seen the list like that. I happen to see it. You know, I passed along some friends that I saw. Kind of check that stuff, because then you might want to go to a photo shoot, but you have no idea about it. Maybe you don't have any friends in that same series as you. So just kind of look around and ask.
If you're hosting a photo shoot, be on time and have a backup leader. It seems to be a problem a lot. Don't be a photo Nazi either. Feel free to maintain order, but let people have fun too.
Yeah, I've showed up to more than one photo shoot where, like, the person hosting it didn't show up. and I ended up doing it, which I kept saying, like, I'm not doing it, I just want to show up and have fun, and then they didn't come. Because, when we want to have a photo shoot, there's like 20 of us here, no leader. I say if it's 10 minutes past the time and they're not there, you want to jump in and host it, go for it.
How not to be a terrible person 101. It's my favorite part. Help out your fellow congoer. If you see them running for the door, hold the door open. It's very nice. I have almost slammed doors on people because I was like, excuse you, that was rude.
Yeah, if you're your schedule and somebody's like, hey, do you know where this room is, or do you know what time this panel is? I'm not sure where I'm going. If you got a second, help them out.
Especially if you've been going to a con for so long, and it's like here, it's the same sort of stuff, just room numbers will change occasionally. I know I was on the Facebook group trying to help people, like, okay, this is usually what they do for registration. I don't think that they've changed it, but this is what usually happens. Don't be an a-hole. There's not really any other way to put it. That's the nice way. Just don't. Be nice, be respectful of people.
Even if your character's a jerk 24/7, like, you could take a break for a little while.
Be courteous and polite, please, and thank yous go a long way. I probably say thank you a ridiculous amount. Like at the drive-thru, they hand me like a receipt. Thank you. My food. Thank you. My drink. Thank you. Like it's just nice, And somebody might be having a bad day, and you know what? That please and that thank you might go a long way. Eye contact. That means keep your eyes off of boobage or other areas on other people.
I'm probably gonna drift there, but if you're talking to someone, try not to be like staring down the whole time.
It happens.
If eye contact makes you uncomfortable, at least try not to stare at anything, that might make them uncomfortable. Like, yeah, stare at the wall behind them. Like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just not.
Be polite to those asking for help. That goes along with, if somebody is asking, hey, can I see your, your schedule or something? Sure. Or, if you're busy, you can't just be like, hey, well, I know that there's a schedule posted over here, if you wanted to see this.
I saw a staffer right there. Just kind of direct them if you don't, or even if you don't want to help them, just kind of direct them away. Don't be like, I don't know, bye. Just nicely show them.
Cosplay safety, like I said, I am going through this really fast because I got like 9 minutes. Again, no glomping. We're not bringing it back. Try not to. Remember the buddy system. Basically, take a buddy with you everywhere. What did I have? Make sure that they are eating and drinking. If they need to take medication, be like, hey, did you take your medication today? Did you take your vitamins today? Did you do this? Look out for your buddy,
For escaping creepers too. If you're alone, text your friend, call me immediately. And they can call you and be like, oh yeah, I'll be right there. I'll come meet you. I'll help you with your costume, and leave. Like,
we've done that many times in real life, not at the con.
If somebody's being a creeper and y'all can't escape, just one of you has to go to the bathroom and you need help with something. Let's both go. Bye.
Make sure you have a fully charged phone, probably a charger with you, and everyone's phone number. If you can't memorize their phone number, write down their phone number. This is very important because I know people who are like, can I use your phone? Okay, well, sure. Do you know the number? No, I just press 1 in my phone and it goes to them. Well, that clearly doesn't work in my phone. So, it's for safety. Have a meetup point, in case you get lost. Say, hey, at 5 o'clock, meet me, at the front doors, right outside the doors. That'll be a good point for us to meet. It's good for anything. Follow the rules within the convention booklet. There is a list of rules. They will kick you out if you break them. It's pretty simple. I mean, that's pretty much everyday life. Trust your gut instinct. If something seems wrong, get out of there. Yeah. Your gut instinct's usually pretty right. So, if something seems fishy, just be like, all right, I gotta go.
Don't feel obligated to go somewhere or, go to somebody's party that they invited you to if it makes you uncomfortable. Just, even if you said yes, you can always make up an excuse and leave. And
it's okay to say no.
If they stop you, just scream bloody murder. Just scream.
It's okay to say no. It really is. It's okay to be like, no, I really don't feel like going to this party. Don't get in the cars with strange people. We're chill, but no, I'm just kidding. I mean, we are chill, but my car is packed with stuff. Cosplay is not consent. You probably hear this a lot. It doesn't mean, I'm wearing a skimpy costume. That doesn't mean, please check me out and rub your hands on me or something. A lot of conventions are putting these signs up. This one's actually at SakuraCon that I took a picture of. It's pretty cool. How to escape a creeper. It's our favorite part. And we're getting to the end. Yay. We like to say come up with a signal among your friends. Lemonade works. Say, hey, I would like some lemonade. Lemonade? Especially if they don't drink lemonade. And please, if they give you that help me look, go along with it. Don't be like, hey, we got that panel we got to go to, right? Don't be like, what panel? What are you talking about? You know, the one panel with the guy and the costume. And
You should at least know your friends well enough to know that, like, something is up. So if they seem like they're acting a little weird, just be like, yeah, sure. Because you can always go back to what you were doing later.
this has happened to me at work, and nobody saved me. And I was like, I am stuck with this guy. Yeah. Just come up with a signal, kind of figure out a way that you can kind of let each other know something is up and we need to go. It's okay to walk away from somebody. Sometimes they will follow you. Just keep walking.
And if you can't escape, and I hate to suggest being rude, but if you cannot escape and you're scared to tell them, like, you are creeping me out, just say, like, oh, I'll be right back. Or you don't even have to say anything. Just turn and walk away. Because if they're following you, just go to staff. Sometimes you get some and maybe they're just a little socially awkward. They just don't understand that you're trying to excuse yourself. Just go into the bathroom. Go wherever you got to go. Go to staff. Just get out of there.
If you see us and you need saving, please come to us. Tell us you need some lemonade. At first, I will be very confused. I guarantee it. I'll be like, what are you talking about? Do I look like I carry lemonade? But then if you go, lemonade, I'm like, I got you. Let's go. Like, we try our best. You know, I mean,
Well, then I can't help you there.
you should never need saving from me. Yes.
I actually have lemonade in my bag right now.
You would. You came prepared because you know this panel. No, yeah, it really is. If you need saving, just let us know.